A new product that we are launching at this conference. For the last 2 years, we've been working on a solution on how to democratize digital money. The key thing is, how do we bring it to the bottom of the pyramid? Now, if we look at it, India lives in villages. We buy in villages, we vote in villages, and we enjoy our life in villages. The key thing is, how do we empower this India? Mobile phones are coming, smartphones are coming, but it will take some time. Do we deprive the population, the rest of the world? If you look at it, Jan Dhan program and the overall JAM Trinity is definitely going to change things. It's definitely going to change things. Now let's take a little bit of a statistics of where we are. 190 million or 19 crore, a little bit plus, more than that, Jan Dhan accounts have been opened. Over 93 crores Aadhaar cards have been given. And about 50 crore mobile phones are there. When I look at this picture, when I look at this image, it reminds of my youth when I used to play a game called Pittu. This is not stable. This will fall. All the stones have to be near about the same size for them to be stable. So how do we do that? How do we increase the number of bank accounts? Aadhaar is doing an excellent job. And then how do we enable mobile? If you look at globally, a lot of activities taking place. But right now in India, we have the Aadhaar card, we have the RuPay card, but a mobile card is missing. Can we give a mobile card? Is it too far away? There are 50 million families in India that don't have a mobile. Families. If you take at the bottom of the pyramid, a family of 5, that's 250 million people don't have a mobile. That is a reality. There are 1 billion people globally that still don't have a mobile. Why can't we export this from India? After all, this technology I'm going to talk to you about has been developed here, patented here. This is the dichotomy. Globally, it's an inverted pyramid when we look at financial access. India has made a lot of progress. But at the top end, more than 90% of the people have access to banking, and it goes down to less than 5% at the bottom of the pyramid. Jan Dhan Yojana clearly has given India a lead, but there's more to be done because the cash-digital divide still exists. What is this cash-digital divide? The cash-digital divide is that people that are at the bottom of the pyramid are paid in cash. The economy runs in cash. They don't have a card, they don't have bank access, or they don't have a smartphone app doing mobile banking. Cash has its issues. It's good, but there's a challenge. It has its risk of storage. It has costs. All the bankers over here will know. It costs the banks 22,000 crores to move currency. And this is when the cash management companies try to lump in multiple trips into one. With what has happened recently, I'm pretty sure the regulators will be coming strongly on those companies, and this cost is going to increase. And also, outside of technology, there is a physical barrier. For most of us who are fortunate and get our salaries directly into a bank account, we have to make an extra effort to spend our money. We have to go to an ATM or a bank to withdraw the money and then spend it. For a poor man whose money is born cash, whose money is born physical, they have to make an extra effort to save because it's like, I'll go to the bank tomorrow. These are the barriers, psychological barriers, that are also preventing saving from taking place. Now let's look at the flow today. The flow today is from the bank, bulk transport of funds happen to the cash processing unit. From there, all the way to the bank or the ATM branch, you have, again, cash being moved. And then people come with their card to withdraw cash. They give it to a retailer as they spend, and then this cash starts its journey back to the bank. When I looked at this, it reminded me of how music was being distributed when I was young. I used to buy T-Series cassettes. T-Series would produce the cassette physically, ship it, transport it, comes to the very last mile, and then somebody buys it. None of us do that today. In a village, I can buy a song for 1 rupee. Why? Because its physical characteristics has been changed. It comes digitally. Can we do that for money? That was the question we had. Why do we want to do that? If we convert it to digital, it will do a couple of things. First, in the physical space, any transaction that the consumer and the retailer is having is only known to those two people. Only in the village does somebody know how much a person earns. Beyond that, nobody knows. So none of the villagers are part of, quote unquote, the reward points or loyalty point programs, because they are not even known by any of the FMCG companies. The second aspect, there's a high cost of carrying cost. And third, because of that cost of cash and the physical time it takes to move currency, there's a low velocity of money. As our economy grows, as the GDP increases, these things could slow us down. Globally, a lot of efforts are taking place to digitize money. You have Google, Apple, Samsung. You also have Bitcoin. In India, almost every bank has come up with a mobile app for banking. And behind the banks, you got the operators who have come with their own solutions, and the e-commerce companies are not far behind. Globally, there are over 240 different mobile wallets. Are they solving the problem? So let's look at first, what's the challenges still? All of these solutions are built on existing systems. And because of that, they are either credit-based, they require a bank account, require expensive smartphones, a merchant payment terminal, and pervasive data connectivity. They are all online. They still don't cover half of humanity, because still 4 billion people don't have smartphones. What can be done was our question. So we went forward and said, this is what we want to do. We want to remove this cash-digital divide. And we started looking at how the music divide was removed. It was removed because these physical cassettes were moved into a mobile to carry music. It just did one job and it did it right. And the other thing that happened as part of that was the ability to rip music. I was able to take my CD or my cassette and digitize it. A process called ripping. Same thing happened in books. A mobile was created to carry my books. So we said, can we do something? Can we create a mobile to carry money? We started working on it. What should it look like? It should be portable. It should fit in my pocket. It should be secure. It should have a long battery life, because in the rural area, that is the reality. You share your power line. These are just some interfaces of current digital wallets. At the end, the wallet needs to do only one thing: pay or receive. You either give somebody money or you receive money from them. Why make it more complex? And I shouldn't have to look for where I can get service from it. I shouldn't look for a sign that there's a network available. It should work everywhere, like cash. Cash works everywhere. With that, we developed a new piece of hardware, the size of a credit card, 5 credit cards thick, and I present that device to you. We call it the purse. But that was not enough. To democratize digital money, how does money come into that device? How do you rip that money, just like ripping the CD, and put it inside this device? So yes, this device is really small. It fits in your pocket. It fits in your pocket really easily. I'll have to find it. It's in my wallet, and it's a small, compact device. And we have a booth there. You're most welcome to experience it. It has a battery life of over 6 months if you do 30 pay or receive transactions in a day. If you do less than that, it will last even longer. It's waterproof, drop-proof, requires no connectivity. It's CE approved, it's wireless planning cell approved. It uses NFC and Bluetooth for short-range communication. Because when you pay by cash, the other person is next to you. You don't need a mile distance. You just pay the person, hand him the money. It's intuitive, and it's affordable. To enable the ecosystem, we went back to how banks are operating today and what all can we digitize along the way. So instead of physically transporting money to the cash processing center, we said, can we do a bulk transport over internet? And we created a platform called the PaySe platform. This platform we use for distribution. This is where we create crypto tokens. And we push this digital currency, which means this is the place where we are ripping the physical currency in a sense and making it digital, yet secure. Then we said, what should we do for an ATM? Well, what's an ATM? An ATM is a machine or computer that on one side connects back to the bank to ensure you have money, has a cassette full of physical notes, and as a robo, it distributes that money whenever somebody does a withdrawal and there's approval required. In this case, it's digital money. There's no need for a cassette. So we created an ATM on a smartphone. What that means is 1 billion ATMs have been delivered today. You just take your smartphone, load this application, and you have your ATM in your palm. आपका ATM आपकी मुट्ठी में. And then you withdraw this electronic cash in your device. Once you have it, like physical currency, you can use it anywhere. Yes, that ecosystem will develop. The merchants will take it. Why? Because for the merchant terminal, it's an NFC reader with Bluetooth, so it can read any other NFC card. If I put a RuPay applet into this device, it will be able to receive RuPay. If I put a Visa applet into this device, it will be able to receive a Visa card. Today, we are limiting it only to NFC. And then, using that same Palm ATM, which could be my own individual or only one device in the overall village. So the merchant or maybe a mobile recharge point needs to have a smartphone with this application running, and that becomes a community ATM. This money moves wirelessly back. We've done some trials in Gujarat. What used to take 7 days to move money from a remote village, from an SHG, all the way back, now happens in 30 minutes. That's velocity of cash. Overall, the cost of cash is gone down because there's no physical movement of currency, which means nobody has to go to that remote village and bring that cash and have the risk of being mugged. Luckily, that doesn't happen much in Gujarat. But in another trial that we were doing in Haryana, people are getting mugged quite frequently. This removes the movement of physical currency. And PaySe, yes, it's built for the bottom of the pyramid, those people who don't have a mobile. But it doesn't limit there. You'd say, well, a mobile, why would somebody carry a mobile? And yes, those were the questions that we were asked. So we basically said, let's look at other things. We're delivering PaySe on an NFC card also. So if you have an NFC card, you'll be able to use PaySe. Then why need a device, you say? Well, the NFC card can only be used for payments, and the device can be used for receiving and for paying. That's the difference. So if somebody is getting just a DBT coming into their account and they want to do it, they will withdraw the money once in the NFC card and they can just continue to make the payments. They don't need the big device. It doesn't stop there. We've also taken this chip we have developed, the secure chip, which has all of this technology, and we've put it on a small sticker that will stick onto your SIM card and enable your SIM card with this digital approach. And your phone can then be converted into a payment instrument offline, if I may add. And last but not the least, yes, it will work on your smartphone. So really, PaySe digitizes cash. It's digital cash, not a card that requires remote reconciliation at the end of the day or at the end of the month. The atomic transaction of paying and receiving ends right there between the two devices, because actual crypto tokens move from one device to the other, just as physical currency moves from one to the other. Yes, we've enabled 1 billion ATMs using our device. You can do withdrawal and deposits using this device. And we are democratizing. What we bring benefits all. Our solution works within the guidelines of RBI. Our solution will integrate with the UPI that's coming from NPCI. Our solution enables the banks, and our solution will also enable the mobile operators to remove cash at the last mile. All of them are my partners. And yes, just like the ability to rip CD, we've provided the ability to rip currency and move it electronically. Our platform does all of this at the back end. And the beauty about this, ladies and gentlemen, is there is no fee for peer-to-peer payment. Just like cash, when 100 rupees is given as cash from one person to the other person gets 100 rupees. There is nothing like an MDR. And merchants are interested in that. Because when you only have 3 or 4% to play with as your margin, you cannot afford to give away 2.5%. We are offering it across the different product lines. Different form factors, different price points, and yes, we are offering it in a mobile. So let's work together to rewire the ecosystem. In summary, we have smart digital cash, no fees for microtransactions. It benefits all in the ecosystem. It works within the regulatory guidelines. It enables 1 billion ATMs. It drives the velocity of money, and it's a scalable solution. With that, I appreciate your attention. I'll give this to the world through your eyes, because today is the day we are launching this. And this is just the beginning. If I may just play a little video to share with you our vision. This chip that we have developed today is inside this device. We welcome device manufacturers because this secure chip will come out of the device and will get into a mobile phone, enable a mobile phone to be secure. We heard about the issues with applications of smartphones in the previous presentation. This chip makes that way. It will enable merchants to securely receive the money. It will allow devices to pay offline. So when your money is offline, there's less interest in the hackers because it's distributed. And yes, I see a day when it will be in your history. With that, thank you very much.